All right, listen, a couple of years ago, I was stuck at six-figure months, and now my brand is on track to do over 20 million this year. And a big part of that was actually increasing our AOV, shifting focus away from just ads, and actually improving our business model as a whole. And just to show you, you can see here in my North Beam, at refresh, last 30 days, we're at 2.16 million. And once again, this isn't to flex, it's just to show you that what I'm walking you through actually made a big difference to us scaling. You can see last 7 days, we're at 657K, just under about 100K per day on average. Now, to actually just get into it, what did we actually do? Well, one, increasing our AOV allows us to spend more on ads. And everyone's just focused on ads. And yes, that's important. But when you get to six-figure months, lots of your focus needs to switch to actually increasing AOV and improving your business model as a whole. Obviously, that's not the only thing that needs to be improved, but it is one of the most important. I'm gonna walk you through what I did to increase it, how you can too, and what we actually did. And so once again, this was me just a couple of years back. So I was talking at 50K to 200K plus per month. I would go up to 200, go up to 250. I'd scale back down to 100, then I'd go back up to 150, then it'd be back down to 30K, then 40K, and it just wasn't consistent. It was kind of just up, down, because every time I scaled, my profit just dropped. So I had to scale down again, right? And that's exactly what continued to happen over and over again. And then I would just wait to find the next winning ad. I'd find a new winning ad. I'd scale, but I'd hit the same roadblock and just scale back down once the ad died out, right? It didn't clue into my head that I had a business model issue, an AOV issue in this case, was my main constraint. Not that I had a winning ad issue, because every now and then I did find a winning ad, but I'd continue to scale down unless I always had a winning ad. When instead I made this change, all of a sudden my decent ads, not even crazy winners, scaled me, right? And because I didn't realize that the core issue was fixing my model to be able to afford a higher CPA, right? Which we'll talk about more. And so fast forward to now, once again, we'll do over 20 million this year. Decent ads now scale me, bring consistency to my ad account, and I improve my AOV to afford a higher cost per purchase, right? This allowed me to scale fast while keeping my conversion rate strong and my margins healthy as I scaled up. Now, what's most important is being able to afford that higher CPA, right? When you get to 100K plus per month, you to some degree, obviously not crazy, but to some degree, you've cracked your marketing, right? You know what ads work, you know messaging works, and now you just simply need to double down. And when you get to that stage and you continue scaling into multi-six-figure months, lots of your focus needs to switch away from ads because you have a consistent process that's working there. And yes, you need to continue to do that and improve it, but a big part of your focus now needs to move towards improving your business model as a whole, right? Because always when you increase ad spend, your CPA will continue to rise. It's how the Facebook algorithm works. And yes, we do our best to combat that with testing ads, etc., but it's going to rise. And so at some point, you need to realize and make the switch that the main focus or the main question you need to solve for now is how can I actually afford a higher cost per purchase? Because I can tell you right now, the biggest brands doing millions per month, like myself and brands that are much bigger than me, they don't run their Facebook at a 2 ROAS, a 2.2 ROAS. They're running break even or lower, sometimes even under a 1 ROAS, right? And imagine if you could run your ads right now that you have in your ad account right now at a 1 ROAS, right? Your ads don't actually have to be that crazy good. Obviously, we do our best, but if your target's a 1 ROAS, your marketing becomes a lot simpler. And when I realized this, I put my focus to that because it was a lot easier. To be honest, I'm just a decent marketer. I'm not a great marketer, right? So I brought people in to take that over for me. And I put my time and focus on how can we actually afford a higher CPA. And when we did that, all of a sudden, my decent marketing scaled. And so you could essentially either play the game on easy mode or hard mode. I know which one I chose. And once again, just to show that this doesn't work for me, this is the actual added monthly revenue from some of the clients we work with one-on-one, added, right? So when they joined, and then 90 days later, on average, how much added revenue did we get to their business, right? The difference from before and after joining. And so active clients, we added 4.3 million a month, over 53 million per year. And then combined with the active and now inactive clients who have passed the 90 days, over 10 million per month added, or 123 million per year added, right? That's added revenue after working with us, and lots of that has to do with this AOV increase. So, quick warning and quick preface, right? Don't just copy everything. Like split test this, test it properly. Don't be like this guy, which lots of you guys do this when watching YouTube videos because you just want quick wins, quick cash. You see something in a video, you take it, you implement it, it doesn't work, and then you're like, oh, well, that shit didn't work. But you didn't actually properly test it. Every business, every product, every model is very different. So take this, take what actually applies to you, use it, build on it, and then that's how you're actually gonna find success with this, okay? So, into the first part, which is actually crafting the right offer, which is by far the most important, okay? Your offer is by far the biggest lever for increasing AOV and one of the easier ones to change because every little tweak you do on this front end offer, right, makes a huge difference. And by focusing and optimizing and testing your front end offer, you can change your business overnight. You should be constantly testing your offer, the structure, pricing, discounts, etc. And this should be 80% plus of all of your AOV conversion rate percent testing until you find the offer that scales, right? Because everything is downstream from this. All of your time and effort, even at my scale, 80% of the testing we do is still on the front end offer, even though we're scaling up. Because I know what my main constraint is, which we'll get into, and testing for that. And the easiest way to fix that is fixing the core offer because all of your back-end revenue, all of the email flows, all of your upsells, your post-purchase upsells, all depend on what they buy first, that front-end offer. And you can find better offers with higher conversion rate and higher AOV, higher subscription take rate, and higher revenue per visitor. You can do this. You just haven't tested enough. Most of you guys probably have an offer. You've tested a couple things, 2-3 changes. You've gotten to some decent scale, and then you stop. When in fact, your ads are actually probably decent. Once again, lots of the time, I haven't looked at your ads, but lots of the time your ads are actually decent. And what you need to do is crack a better front-end offer that can actually scale broader because your business model metrics actually make sense and allow you to afford a higher CPA. Okay? So put the focus in your front-end offer first and foremost more than anything. With that said, we have a couple things. Well, first, the bundle and the offer itself, right? You have subscription offers, right? Increasing your take rate. You have buy one, get one. You have buy two, get one. You have buy X, get Y. You have quantity packs. You have free gifts, etc. The offer type that you go for is obviously heavily dependent on your product. There's no right or wrong here. The point is you want to be testing lots of them, of the ones that make sense with your product. For example, when we just started, I just sold 1 unit. Then I had 1 unit and get Y. Then I had 1 unit and get 3 Y free, like 3 free gifts. And conversion rate increased massively. AOV stayed the same. We lost a bit of margin because of the free gifts, but the conversion rate increased so much that revenue per visitor was much higher. You could take these and you could tweak them, right? You could say, get this, get X free gifts. You could say, get this, but free shipping over a certain threshold. You could say, buy 2, get 1, buy 2, get 2, buy 4, get 2, right? There's so many variations you can do. You can do subscription only. You could do one time for subscription. You could do subscription one time with a discount on subscription. There's so many different ways you could showcase this, right? Let alone talking about the discount pricing setups we're going to get into. The point is, look at what makes sense with your products. What are other competitors doing in your niche? Doesn't have to be like direct competitors, but in your niche as a whole, and how are they structuring their offers? And then play around with that. And the main thing here is you have to understand what is your main constraint in the business. If we're just trying to increase AOV, well then create bundle offers, right? Create buy X, get Y. Throw more free gifts on your bigger bundle options to increase the take rate of your bigger bundles. All these things you can play around with to increase your AOV massively. If it's a conversion rate issue, well, maybe you just need to add more perceived value, right? Test the discount, test the pricing. Now, most cases, once again, this is what I've seen with most of the people who've come to me at 6-figure months who then we've helped scale to 7-figure months. Their conversion rate's actually really decent. Their AOV is just atrocious. Like they have no optimization on the offer for AOV, no optimization on the upsells, almost no post-purchase upsells. And all these things can take your AOV and increase it $25-$30 and literally make you double your business overnight, which I'll once again show you proof of further down. Point is, take your offer, create something that has a ton of value that still makes sense for the customers to buy. For example, another thing I see lots of clients come to me with is they have a buy one, get one, or they have like a buy 1, buy 2, buy 3, right? And that also can work. It's simple, but it can still work. The issue is their take rate on the buy 1 versus the buy 2 or buy 3 is like 80-90%. And what does that tell you? It tells you no one cares to have 2 or 3. So if no one cares to have 2 or 3 of these products, you need to come up with different offerings where they'll get a bigger bundle without having more of the same unit, right? Which would mean different SKUs, bundle complementary products together, etc. Right? So look at your data, analyze it. What are people taking? What are they not taking? And then test to improve that. If 80% of people take bundle 1 and you could change that to 40% and the rest is split up between bundle 2 and bundle 3, all of a sudden your AOV increases massively. If instead you have the same bundle options, but you increase take rate of bundle 2, as the new default, and 80% take that and 20% take bundle 1, all of a sudden your AOV increases massively. And these are things that can scale your brand overnight. So that's bundles and offer. Now, next one is increasing and decreasing pricing. And once again, you need to find the sweet spot for revenue per visitor. I put decreasing on purpose because it's not always an increase that does better. In fact, we're now selling our product about $10 to $20 cheaper, depending on the variant, than what we originally sold it for. Because every time we've decreased, conversion rate went up enough to where the revenue per visitor actually increased. We made more per visitor to the page. So that's very important to mention. And so story time, right, how we improved our AOV from $50 to over $100, which one thing that allowed us to scale super quickly, is we noticed we had a super high take rate on our post-purchase upsells, right? Post-purchase upsell, high take rate. People took it all the time, almost every single purchase. So we tested different bundle offers, including that in the initial order versus the upsell. So we took the upsell, and this could be pre-purchase or post-purchase, and we started bundling this complementary product together on the front end, right? And then after some tweaking on pricing and price anchoring, it absolutely crushed. And just with that one change, our AOV more than doubled. Front end AOV went from 50 to 90. We then optimized the post-purchase upsell, which was still the same product, funny enough. And we added another $10 there, right? And so now our AOV sits around about $100, $105, depending on the day, give or take. But the point is that doubled our AOV. We were then able to afford almost double as high of a cost per purchase on Facebook, which allowed us to more than double our spend pretty much overnight, right? And that's why it's such a powerful thing to do. And so once again, if your conversion rate's good, a lot of you guys have $50, $60 AOVs and your conversion rate's really good, 3, 4, 5, 6%, right? You don't actually need a conversion rate that high, right? Like that's great and all, but if you're not scaling, if you increase your AOV $20, $30 and then your conversion rate drops 1%, 2%, your revenue per visitor is still going to be way higher and you'll scale a lot more because of it. So definitely play around with that. And once again, revenue per visitor is the main metric you want to be looking at. Okay. Now, next is consistently testing upsells. So everyone knows about upsells, but very few people and brands continuously test and optimize them, right? Majority of you watching, I bet, have just set these up once, maybe you touched it twice, and you probably haven't touched it or looked at it since, right? And why? What are you doing? Because once again, here's an example. A client I work with, Breton, went from 800K to 2.5 million a month in 90 days. 800K to 2.5 million, right? Insane in 90 days. And what did he do? The main lever was simply cracking a better post-purchase upsell that increases AOV by like $15, even higher, depending on the variant, overnight, right? And if you can get $15, $17 at almost pure profit overnight added to your AOV, and you could afford $10, $15 more on your front-end CPA, that is a lot of added spend, as you can see. So first and foremost, and I would say even most important, is your post-purchase upsell, right? Focus on OTO one, which is one-time offer one, right? Your goal should be a $10 revenue per visitor minimum, right? This depends on the AOV of the offer, etc., but you should be able to get a revenue per visitor of at least $10. If you're not there yet, you need a lot of work to be done and testing to be done on your post-purchase upsell one. Okay. This is probably the most underrated funnel part, whatever you want to call it, part of the funnel of all of e-commerce. This one thing, when you crack it, once again, we'll add $10, $12, $13 to your AOV pretty much overnight once you fix it. Okay. My recommendation is go for a high AOV offer. So our front end AOV, once again, is around 100. Our post-purchase offer is like $70 to $80, right? They just bought from you. This is when they're in their most emotional state. And this is when you're able to upsell them a higher value product more than any other time in the funnel ever. Okay. So high AOV offer. It needs to make sense with what they just bought. If your take rate on the upsell isn't good, either the offer doesn't have perceived value and you just created a shit offer, or it just doesn't make sense with what they just bought. Like once again, going back to my earlier example, if you have a buy one, buy two, buy three, nobody ever buys two or three, and then you upsell the same product again and the take rate's low, it's because nobody wants another one, right? Like look at the data, make your decision, and then change it up. The point is, it needs to make sense with what they just bought. That will increase your take rate massively on whatever you upsell here. Next, you want to make it super enticing, huge discount, free gifts, free shipping, make it super enticing. Your gross margin here doesn't matter as much as the front end because at this point, you already paid for the cost per purchase, right? You already got the purchase. So there's no more ad spend or CPA to calculate into this. It's just pure profit, all in COGS, right? Minus the selling price is now your pure profit on this upsell. So don't be afraid to get aggressive with it. You should be aggressive with the offer here, make it super enticing because that's going to make that revenue per visitor go way up. And you should be aiming for 6 to 10% take rate. 10% is more so the baseline. But once again, if you have a super high AOV offer, $80, $90, $100 post-purchase, 6% will still end up getting you that $10 revenue per visitor, depending on the AOV. Okay. So that's post-purchase upsell, what you want to focus on there. Now, next is pre-purchase upsells. And the main thing is, once again, what you offer needs to make sense with what they're just buying. That's the most important by far out of anything here. Test different products that you offer. Once again, you probably have 2 or 3 there that have been there forever and you haven't tested it since. Consistently test new upsells there until you find the best 1 to 5 upsells that you can show in cart there. The take rate is going to be heavily dependent on what they're first adding to cart and how congruent these offers are with that. Then you want to be consistently testing the naming, right? Lots of the naming doesn't make sense for your upsells. They should be able to understand what it is and get the value of it from just the name because you don't want them to have to go in and click it, read through the product page. You just want them to be able to hit add to cart. And to do that, the name needs to be super clear with what main benefit that they're getting. Test the pricing, test the offer on the offers, test the offer on the offers you're offering in cart as well. And then test the amount of upsells, right? Showing 1 versus 2 versus 3 versus 4 versus 5. It works differently for tons of brands. I've seen some brands work best with like 5, 6, others 3, others 1, and that actually leads to the highest AOV. Okay. And the thing with testing offers and adding new products here as well is this is then also used to get your returning customers up, right? All these products that you find that work well in cart upsell, you can now put in your email flows, in SMS flows, in email campaigns, SMS campaigns, and give a reason for customers to come back and buy again. Obviously, if you have a subscription offer, that's much easier because hopefully you get them on subscription first purchase, and then that's a lot easier to follow up and just improve your retention on the back end. But if you don't, these new product launches that you're using in upsells is a great way to get customers to come back and buy again, to really increase that return customer rate, help you scale a lot further. Okay. But that is upsells. Now, last but not least is shipping tweaks and upsells. So this is one of the most overlooked AOV increases you can get. I can't say it enough. I highly recommend to charge shipping. Like for almost everyone, I would say 95% of the time, you're better off charging shipping. Now, test this, but this can add $5 to $10 plus to your AOV today, overnight, pure profit without hurting conversions. Fun story time. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a CMO at a brand that does about 30 to 40 million a year, US. And I was telling him our issue with our margin that we had at the time. And he's like, well, just charge shipping. And I'm like, oh, I'm not too sure. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. We need to fix this issue somehow. I increased our shipping price at the time to like $16, $16 to $18. Conversion rate dropped a little bit, but we had $16 to $18 pure profit added to our AOV on pretty much every single order. And we scaled pretty much overnight because of it, right? $16 to $18. Okay. Now that might be a bit much. It will hurt your conversion rate if you don't charge shipping at all right now. Point is, once again, split test and actually test this properly. But more often than not, unless you're scaling super hard worldwide and lots of your sales come from like kind of all over the place, 95% of the time, you're better off with the free shipping threshold and charging for shipping and getting $5, $10, $15 of pure profit extra per order. Okay. So one, charge shipping, play around with your free shipping thresholds, right? That way you still want to offer free shipping, but for them to get free shipping, they have to reach a certain AOV, which once again will increase your AOV massively. This is another huge lever to pull on and test that a lot. Adding package protection and priority processing. Now, just to show you, this is last 30 days or last month of our shipping charges, right? That's over 125K people have paid us in shipping. That's 125K, 100% margin revenue that we didn't have otherwise, that we were now paying our shipping out of pocket. And now we pay $0 for shipping because the customers cover it all, or about 80% of it, right? Imagine that was your brand, how much of a difference that would make. Because I can tell you, it completely changed the game for us. 125K, pretty much pure profit coming into the business, helped our margins massively, our AOV massively, and because of it, scale massively. So this is probably once again one of the most overlooked places. Everyone just offers free shipping by default, or they see other people charging $5.95, so they just go $5.95. Actually test it, put time and thought into it, play around with your free shipping thresholds, because this will make a big difference to your AOV and even more importantly, your net profit at the end of the day. Okay. Now, warning, once again, if you're offering package protection, priority processing, actually deliver on the promise. Don't be like the 98% of dropshippers here who offer this, but it doesn't actually exist. Right? If you offer priority processing, make sure your 3PL who's shipping out your products actually put those at the front of the line, right? With faster shipping. That way they get shipped out faster. If you offer package protection and then they ask for a refund, if they have package protection, honor that and give them the package protection. Okay. Don't scam people. Keep it legit. If you do that, you're going to lose more money in the long run anyways with returns and chargebacks and all that stuff. You'll make more money if you just honor it. Okay. And do it well. And last but not least, go and implement this, right? You'll see your AOV go up massively. You'll have more room to push your ad spend. Some of these things I've walked you through have not only changed my business massively and helped us scale to over 2 million a month now, but like I showed you on some of the clients, helped them scale massively. And I have like 3, 4, 5 different examples of that where they scaled massively because the one lever they needed to pull on was AOV. They solved that, target CPA drops, or so not target CPA drops, but they're able to afford a much higher CPA, and then they just scale massively because of it, right? So don't take it lightly. Now remember, AOV is just one piece of the puzzle. To get to an 8-figure per year business, you have AOV, LTV, conversion rate, repeat, creative hit rate, team and systems, and more and more and more. The point is, understand if AOV is a constraint, right? If your conversion rate's high, if your AOV isn't that high, if you don't have at least, once again, $10, $15, $20 being added to your AOV after the initial purchase, you have a lot of room to do on shipping, upsells, post-purchase upsells, etc. If you have a core constraint that you need to fix by increasing your AOV on the front-end offer, make sure majority of your time on testing is spent there on the front-end offer itself. And then move forward to crack the rest of these to get to that 8-figure per year level. Okay. Now, if your brand is making over 100K per month and you want to partner with me one-on-one, check out the link in the description. Outside of that, I hope this is useful. Once again, take these points, take action on it. It made a huge difference for me, and I hope it makes a huge difference for you. So with that being said, I will see you in the next one.